In the 18th century, they were portrayed as barbaric follies by Enlightenment philosophers who wanted to discredit the church. In the 19th century, they were romanticized as noble civilizing missions by European imperialists who wanted to justify their own colonial adventures. In the 20th and 21st centuries, they have been weaponized by both Western and Islamist political movements to construct narratives of perpetual conflict between Christianity and Islam. None of these versions is the whole truth. The truth is that the Crusades were a complex, multi-layered historical phenomenon, driven by a combination of genuine religious conviction, geopolitical crisis, economic desperation, social pressure, political calculation, and individual ambition. They produced moments of extraordinary heroism and moments of sickening cruelty. They brought cultures into contact in ways that were sometimes destructive and sometimes productive. They reshaped the political map of the Mediterranean world and left legacies that are still debated today. But if you take away one thing from the story, let it be this. The Crusades did not begin in 1095. They began 450 years earlier, when vast swaths of the Christian world were conquered by military force. The call to crusade was not an act of unprovoked aggression. It was a response, delayed, imperfect, and often horrifically executed, to centuries of territorial loss and existential threat. Understanding that context does not justify every action taken by every crusader. It does not excuse the massacres of Jews in the Rhineland or the bloodbath in Jerusalem, but it does change the story from a simple morality tale of Western aggression into something far more honest and far more human, a story of people responding to impossible pressures with imperfect choices, driven by a mix of faith, fear, ambition, and desperation that is, in the end, recognizably, uncomfortably, inescapably human. And maybe that's the version of history we need. Not the version that flatters one side or condemns the other, not the version that serves a modern political agenda, but the messy, complicated, morally ambiguous version that actually reflects how the world works. Because if there is one thing that the true origin of the Crusades teaches us, it is that when you erase context, when you simplify complexity, when you turn history into a weapon, you don't just distort the past. You make it impossible to understand the present. And on that note,